So we'll start with our warm-up. And we're gonna stand, feet shoulder distance apart, tailbone slightly tucked, so you slightly tuck your tailbone, roll your shoulders back a little, tuck your chin in a bit, your spine is long, and then we're gonna make circles with our shoulders. And then reversing, changing direction. Now we're going to lift our arms up and touch the backs of our hands and down. And up and down at your own pace. We're warming up our shoulder joint. And then we're going to go one arm forward and one arm back. Now we're going to make larger circles with our arms. And reverse direction. And now we're going to bend at the elbow and make circles at the elbow. So your upper arm won't be moving much, just your lower arm. Yep, perfect. And then changing direction. Then arms straight out, fists, and make circles with your wrists. And then reversing direction. Fingers up, fingers down. Fingers forward, up and down. And then making and opening your fists. All right, now we're going to warm up our back and chest. So you want to hunch over, hunch back. Your back is all curved, your shoulders are all bent forward. And to lean back and open your chest and shoulders. So hunching over and opening up. And you're squeezing your shoulder blades together when you're leaning back to really open up your chest, back. Now we're going to warm up our sides, so we're going to lean to one side. One arm comes up, one arm goes down, and reverse. Now we're going to warm up our tailbone, so you want to bend your knees slightly, and then you're going to tuck and untuck your tailbone. So your legs are still, your upper body's still, it's just your waist. Yes. And then this is going to turn into a wave. It's difficult to describe, but you start untucked, knees bent, and then as you go to straighten yourself, you bring your waist forward and you let that motion ripple through your back. So you want to create a rhythmic motion. It begins with your legs, moves to the waist and rolls up your back. And the goal here is just that it feels really fluid, like a wave washing through you. Now we'll warm up our hips a bit more, so we're gonna just do our salsa hips. So you're kind of making a figure 8 shape with your hips. And reversing the direction. And now, standing on one leg, we're going to open up our hip. We're going to make circles with our lip. And the ground is very lumpy and uneven, which makes it quite difficult.
Weird.
And then you want to change direction. There we go. I just found a flatter part of the ground.
I can't even bring that.
And switching legs. And changing direction. And bringing your feet together and your knees together. Going to bend, keep your back flat, and you're going to make circles with your knees. And changing direction. And now stepping shoulder distance apart, you bring your knees to meet in the middle and making circles like so. And reversing. Excellent. Now our last joint to warm up, we're going to have to stand on one leg and make circles with the ankle. And then changing direction of the circle. Then bring that heel to the ground and then crunch and uncrunch your toes. And now the other foot. Making those circles with your ankle. And anytime you're balancing, it's usually easier, so reverse the circle, to keep your eyes in one place. So pick a spot on the ground and stare at it. Excellent. That's our warm-up. Oh, we have one more movement. We want to tuck our chin to our chest and roll down slowly, bending vertebrae by vertebrae. You may need to bend your knees so that your fingers can touch the ground. And you're going to hang there for a moment. And if your legs are bent, slowly straighten them. And then begin rolling back up vertebrae by vertebrae. Starting with your tailbone. You roll up slowly. Lifting your head last. Alright, to get us warm, because it's cold, we'll do our chair pose. So with your chair pose, you're going to bring your toes together. And your heels will be slightly apart. And then you're going to bring your arms out in front of you. And you're going to start sitting back with a flat back. And you want to see your toes. So your knees should never be in front of your toes. And your knees should be pressed together. Yes, just like that. And then lift your arms high. That's right. And then we're just going to stay here. And then standing up. Bring your hands into your prayer pose. Knees together, toes together, heels apart. Yep. We're going to come back into that chair pose. You can see toes. Then you're going to bring your left elbow to your knee. And then you're going to use the force of your elbow to turn your back to the side. Your knees should still be side by side. Your hands pressed together firmly. You're pushing your elbow into your knee to twist to the side. And then coming to center, you rise up to take a little break. Hopefully you're feeling warmer.
Yeah. Freezing.
Yeah, I'm starting to get warm now too. It's good. So now we're going to come back down, back flat. You want to keep your back as upright as possible. So if that means you don't go as deep, you don't go as deep. Right? You can have your knees less bent, your back more upright, or go deeper. Then we're going to bring our elbow to our left knee. Returning to the center. Excellent. we'll come to our tabletop. So we're gonna come down onto all fours. Your wrists should be below your shoulders, your knees below your hips. And then you're going to do our cat-cows. So cow is when your head is up and your belly drops down. And cat is when your head is down and your back comes up. Cow and cats. Cow and cats. And coming to neutral or tabletop with a flat back. You want to notice that your arms can be long or short in this position, so you can come right up out of the shoulder joint, or you can sink right down into the shoulder joint. And it's usually good to have your arms nice and long, but there's no right or wrong way to do this. So I'm going to make my arms long, and then we're going to lift our right arm forward. So our elbows beside our head. Then you're going to extend your left leg back. And it's hard to tell. You want to keep looking at the ground so you don't hurt your neck. But you want relatively your arm and leg and back to be level with each other. You want to point the toes of that leg that's lifted to engage all the muscles. And then when you do this, the hip of the raised leg is going to start lifting up. You're going to start twisting at the waist, so you want to level the hips. Make the hips level with each other. And then you're going to hold this. And when your leg and arm start sagging, you lift them back up. And rest. Now left arm forward, right leg back, point those toes, level the hips. And rest. Now right arm forward, left leg back. And now as you want to bring your elbow to meet your knee underneath your body, or as close as you can get them. So elbow to knee, and then extend. Elbow to knee. Extend, elbow to knee, extend, 2 more, elbow to knee, extend, last one, elbow to knee, extend, and rest. This will get us really warm. So with your high plank, it's the start of a push-up. You want to tuck your tailbone. Tucking your tailbone will pull your stomach in and keep your lower back flat. And you want to reach right out of those shoulder joints so your arms are nice and long. And you want to press your weight down through each finger. Staring straight down in front of you. And relax. So now we're going to do our side plank. So you have two options with your side plank. One is to be on your arm long, and the other one is to be on your forearm, like so. And so the bottom leg, you're on the side of the foot, the top leg comes over, and then that foot's flat. And then you lift up like this. So the top leg is crossing over, foot's flat on the ground, the bottom leg is on the side of the foot. And then you can lift your arm up, or you can use your fingers on the ground to support you. And you're lifting your waist as high as you can. And relax. Yeah, it's pretty difficult on the shoulder, actually. We've got to do the other side. In your own time. And relax. Good job. And I was planning to do mostly stretches, so we're just going to do one more active pose and then we'll do some stretching. So this one is locust pose. You clasp your hands behind your back and you reach your arms down your body. Yes. And then you're going to lift your upper body and lift your legs, exactly. And relax. So, with any lunge, usually you want your knee to be directly above your heel. So you don't want your knee going in, and you don't want your knee too far forward, right above your heel. And this is a stretch for this hip, the hip of the back leg. And there's many things you can do to make this stretch stronger if you need it to be stronger. You can engage the muscles of the thigh, the front thigh that would pull you forward. And just engaging them is going to make the stretch stronger. Engaging the hip flexors of the back leg as if you were going to lift that leg up into the air will also make it stronger. When you do that, you have this leg pulling this way and this leg moving this way, and it creates a really strong stretch. You can rest your hand on your knee. You can lengthen your spine. And if you lean back at the waist an inch or two, then the stretch will also get stronger. And if you lift the other arm up into the air, it creates more weight going back. But we're holding this for 1.5 minutes, so you don't want the stretch to be really strong. Mild to moderate stretch. Switching sides. Perfect. And that's the bell to switch stretches. Now we're going to do a twist. So you have two options. You can bring both legs in front of you and one leg over top, foot flat on the ground, both butt cheeks on the ground. Switching sides. And as we're stretching, you can just pay attention to all the sounds around you and practice relaxing. The seagulls, the traffic, the children playing. Some dog's collar jingling. Wind blowing. Just take in all the sounds around you. And that's the belt. With Pigeon, you're creating a right angle with your knee and heel, but you shouldn't feel any pain in your knee. So if you have any pressure or pain in your knee, then you bring the heel closer to your groin. Otherwise, you're good to have it like so. And then you should feel the stretch in the hip of the bent leg. And you're in control of that stretch by how far you lean forward. The further you lean forward, the stronger the stretch becomes. And keep relaxing and noticing all the sounds around you. And switching sides. You bring one heel to your groin, the other leg goes out straight, and you're going to reach and grab that foot. And so we want to stretch the side of the back of the bent leg. But if your legs are tight, then you may feel a strong stretch in your leg. So you want to bend your knee if you need to, so that you feel the stretch mostly in your back. And then as you're pulling on your foot, yes, you're both doing it. You twist your body so that your torso faces forward as opposed to down. And that'll concentrate the stretch in the side of the back. And you may notice in the stretch that if you take a deep breath, that the stretch gets stronger at the height of your in-breath. And switching sides. Now we're going to do a forward fold. In the forward fold, your legs are out straight. And when you do this, you may feel a stretch in your hamstrings when you're leaning forward, which is fine. If you want to stretch your hamstrings, you can do that in this pose. But what we want to watch out for is any pain that goes along the back of the knee. So if you feel like a long, thin pain that goes through your leg, it's very narrow, thin, sharp, especially if it passes across the knee joint. That's your sciatic nerve. It doesn't really like to be stretched. And then in which case you just bend your knees until that feeling goes away. So that the feeling is only in the muscle and not a thin line across the joint. So I like to start my knees bent so that I feel the stretch in my back. And then I might straighten and then bend, straighten and bend, almost as if I were walking in place. There's something called nerve flossing. So nerves don't like to be held in a stretch, but pulsing a stretch where you feel that long, thin pain, it can help the nerve kind of wriggle around and get unstuck, because sometimes they can get stuck against the sides of the muscles and that sort of thing. And perfect. Now we're going to do our back bend, and you have a few options with the back bend. A gentle back bend is your Sphinx pose, where your arms are on the ground, and you're pulling with those arms as if you're going to drag yourself along the ground, and that's going to lengthen your spine. It's a very gentle stretch for your lower back. So if you want it to be stronger, then you can come up onto your hands, but you want your waist to be on the ground. just relax for a moment. You want the stretch to be in the hamstring, but it can be difficult depending on your body and what part's tight and what part's not. And you can control it by how straight your leg is and by how far you lean forward. So you have to play around with straightening and bending the knee and leaning further forward until you start to feel a stretch in the hamstring. And then once you find the spot that feels good for you, you're gonna stay there. And switching sides. Now we just got a couple arm stretches and then we can meditate after that. So with these, you just bring one arm forward, bring it across, hook it in your elbow. And this you have to play around with, how far you reach forward, how high or low the shoulder is. It's up to you to find a stretch somewhere in your shoulder. And once you find a place that feels good, you control it by how tightly you pull the arm in. And switching sides. Now bringing one arm above you, bending at the elbow, using your hand to help reach down your back. And switching sides.